We had not been married for 6 months when I got the first shocker of my life. The so-called baby sister, Hilda, was his child. Hello, it's another week and you're welcome to Live Stories with Bussy. Today's story is a very long one and I would just like to go straight into the story. I got the story from a lady. She says her name is Uwen. So the story goes, hello Bussy, I watched your program for a while and I just felt like sharing my story to encourage ladies to conduct a proper investigation about men they want to marry. I think that goes for everybody. Everybody should do a proper investigation about people they want to get married to. I think that just goes without saying. You do a background check about the person that you're getting married to. It's standard. You don't know people from Adam and then you want to marry the person. You don't even know whether they have issues in their family. You know, they have some families that have issues. You don't know the kind of issues they have in their families. You don't know what you're getting into. You're supposed to be spending the rest of your life together. So who are his family? Where are they from? You know, what do they believe in? What are their values? You know, because I've seen a family where the lady didn't have children at the point, and it was the father-in-law that was on the case of his son and saying, what are you waiting for? Why are you still in the marriage? Go out now, go and look for women, impregnate them and bring the child home if your wife cannot have children. Imagine the kind of values that the father-in-law has, you know. So yeah, so I agree that you should do a proper background check a lot of things about this family, not just do they have money. No, check values, check like spiritual state of that family. I know what I'm talking about. So you need to do a proper background check. So let me continue. Like I said, this story is very long. So she goes, Bussy, here's my story. She goes, my soon to be ex-husband and his whole family are fraudsters. When I was 21, I got pregnant. That's a story for another time. But I had a stillbirth. It was quite traumatizing for me and it took me years to get over it. Because of the relationship that led to the pregnancy, I was skeptical about relationships and focused on my career. My career is blooming and I can say I'm quite comfortable without a man. I can afford all the good things of life. My plan was to adopt and just live a quiet life because I didn't want men's wahala. I moved from the mainland to the island and started worshiping at one of the popular churches around. One day, we were to go for an outreach program and the church bus was to convey us to and fro. So we gathered at the church. While we were waiting, a man who I later learned was Pastor Joseph, popularly referred to as PJ, came to address us. He asked if I was one of the volunteers and I said yes. I noticed he started trying to get my attention. I wasn't interested in that, but so that I wouldn't sound rude or proud, I responded a couple of times. He wanted to know my name and what I do, and I gave him tidbits. After that event, he started trying to get me into different committees for different projects. Some I accepted, some I refused. Somehow we started talking and it didn't seem like a bad guy. It was such a smooth operator, and before I knew it, I found myself falling in love with him. His mom, who also worshipped in the church, seemed like a sweet woman. Everyone in church loved her. She fell in love with me immediately, or so I thought. She's a deaconess in the church. Everyone in the church knows her and the whole family. PJ, that's Pastor Joseph, seemed like a great guy. When we got married, I thank God for answering my prayers. It was everything I thought I wanted in a man. My parents and family loved him so much, except for my youngest sister. She kept saying there was something fishy about PJ, but our opinion didn't count and we shut her off most of the time. One of the things that seemed shady to me then was the 17 years old baby sister. It was 35 when we got married. His mom clocked 60 that same year. So I did a mental calculation, and what it meant was that his mom was 43 when the girl was born. He had two sisters who were 32 and 29 respectively. When I mentioned it, he said that Hilda was like a mistake pregnancy. His father is late. I never met him, but his pictures were in the house, and the girl didn't look like anyone in that family. One day I asked how long his dad had passed, and he said 21 years ago. I asked how his sister was 17 and his father died 21 years ago. He said it was a slip of tongue, but I didn't think so. I know I should have dug deeper, but I felt like maybe their mom had a relationship after their dad died, and this pregnancy came about and they just didn't want to talk about it. So I decided to keep quiet about it and accept Hilda as a sister-in-law. Hilda refers to him as brother. I also did not find it strange that it was the one footing the girl's bills. I thought he was just helping his mom take care of his baby sister. Before we got married, I remember that I specifically asked him if he had any skeleton in his cupboards, because I came out about my whole life to him. So I wanted to know if there was any surprises anywhere. Maybe he had baby mamas anywhere, because I came all true to him about myself and I just wanted us to be honest and have a new beginning. He said there was none. I asked why he didn't get married earlier. He said a lot of ladies had broken his heart in the past and that until I came into his life, he didn't consider marriage. Went for counseling in church and everything looked good. We had not been married for 6 months when I got the first shocker of my life. The so-called baby sister, Hilda, was his child by their house help when he was 18. He got their house help pregnant and they collected the baby from her. How did I know? I got some food items for the mom and I went to their house. As I was about to enter, I met 2 men and a woman talking bitterly outside the gate. My mother-in-law wasn't at home, so I asked the gate man what was happening. The gate man said that the woman has been shouting that they should give her daughter to her, that she wanted to see her daughter. The gate man also told me that that wasn't the first time the woman had come to the house to shout like that. I thought maybe the woman had a wrong address. So I got out of my car and I went to meet her. She told me that she was their house help. She told me that she was their house help some years ago. That she got pregnant for Joe. Remember that Joe is a short form for Joseph. And that they made her have the baby. The mother collected the baby and sent her away 17 years ago. I would have dismissed the talk as rubbish, but that so-called baby sister, Hilda, was a split image of the lady in front of me. She mentioned Joe, and she mentioned that her child is about 17 years old. I had a split headache immediately. My mother-in-law met us there and started shouting and cursing the lady. My mother-in-law said she would arrest them if they don't leave. The lady started crying and shouting that she won't leave, that she wants her daughter, she wants to see her daughter, she just wants to confirm that her daughter was alive, and things like that. As the drama was going on, I dropped the things that I bought for her and I drove off. When I came back from work, he had been briefed by his mom, obviously. He said I shouldn't mind the drama, that the lady got the wrong house. I looked at him and told him that did I look like a mumu to him? Told him that he should come out clean. That I was a pastor and it was better that he came out clean. My mother-in-law called me that night and corroborated her son's story that it was a demented lady who had the wrong address. He kept trying to persuade me to believe that lie, but I kept on telling him that I know that Hilda was his child. A week after, he came clean and told me that Hilda was his child. I didn't believe that I was lied to. For God's sake, he was supposed to be a pastor and his mother was a deaconess in church. He said that he did it because he loved me. He said it wasn't a big deal because he was a teenager at that time. And since his mom raised Hilda, he had come to see his child as his sister. My mind started thinking all sorts. Was he really in love with me? Or was it the fact that I had extra money to dole out? His siblings always have one need or the other, and I was always the one who solved most of their financial needs. He had a job, but it wasn't well paying like mine. The second blow came months after. We had a project we're financing and I'd sent some millions to his account to meet up with certain payments. Now, I could have sent directly to the project manager. Because he wanted the project managers to see him as the one in control, I transferred the money to his account. He was in the bathroom when I saw a debit alert of 2.5 million pop up on his phone. He had told me earlier that he was broke. He also confirmed to me that day that he had delivered money to the project managers. Now, the money to the project managers was more than 2.5 million. Something told me to investigate. I went for his laptop when he was asleep. I knew that his bank notification alert also come in mails. I saw the name he was sent to. It was a foreign account. A further search and I realized that every month money went out to two different ladies. I was curious to know who they were and I did my findings. What I found, two different baby mamas. One had a daughter and one had a boy and a girl. So most of the money that I sent to him for funding the projects that were running went into his baby mama's accounts. The next day I called the project managers and they told me what I already figured out. They said he was supposed to have remitted about 30 million to them and he had only sent 4.5 million. I already knew what was happening and I knew what I was going to do. I confronted him with the financial misappropriation. He said I didn't trust him enough and that he tried to make some investment on our behalf and that he was planning to surprise me with the proceeds of the investments. Hey! I laughed and mentioned the two baby mamas. He started shouting that he doesn't know what I'm looking for, trying to play detective, blah, blah. Then he switched and said everyone had a part, he had his, and I have mine, that if I didn't lose a child, I would have been a single mom too, that his past is his past. Then he said that we have been married over a year and I've not gotten pregnant for one day, but that he loves me. That's why he's not pressurizing me. That he's also taking some risk because he doesn't know if I can have children. I told him that my problem wasn't his past, but that he chose to hide very important details from his past that might affect the future. 4 children and 3 baby mamas. That's not a past. My mother-in-law tried to wait him, but I was done with her scheming and cover-ups. That my exploitative mother-in-law would purposely talk about some financial need in front of me. I've sent her millions of naira apart from stocking her home monthly. Maybe I'm the maga they wanted to milk dry. When I moved out and didn't go to church for that period, I was spreading rumors about me, that I was cheating, I couldn't have children, that I've done several abortions in the past, all in a bid to shame me into silence. Fear men. I have instituted a divorce proceeding and I'll start the process to adopt a baby. Marriage is definitely not for me. Wow, 4 children and 3 baby mamas. Some things that can never belong to the annals or archives of the past. Children can never belong to the past because your children are your future. So you have children from your previous relationships. Why didn't you just come out straight and say it? Like, even when the older one came up, it was an opportunity to have said, okay, you know what? I also have this. You didn't, and then he was using our money to fend for his baby mamas abroad. That's wickedness. So it was just a matter of time. That man would have left her. Who knows the story of the baby mamas? We don't know what happened between him and the baby mama. It could be the same thing. The man could just be a serial scammer using church to cover up. And his mother. Now, wow, things they occur. Hey, Uwen, I thank God that you have been delivered from this man. I don't know whether I can still persuade you to give love a chance. The truth is that there are good men out there and there are good women out there. But you know what? I would encourage you not to close your heart to love. That said, if you are getting into a relationship and you're not comfortable with some things, investigate those things. If you feel like you're not comfortable about some things, or you feel like you don't have peace about some things, investigate those things. Sometimes those things are the indications of trouble in the future. It might be nothing, it might be something, but try to investigate those things. A lot of people are doing cover-ups of so many things these days that innocent people just fall into wrong hands. And if you do a thorough investigation, like I said, like a real background check into these people, you'll be able to find out who they are. They can't hide forever. If you do a thorough background check investigation about the family you want to get married to, it will help you, because then you'll be able to find things. You'll be able to find some things, and you will know things that are a deal breaker for you, so you won't even bother to go into the relationship. If you feel uncomfortable about anything, don't dismiss it. Just investigate, dig in deeper. You might find something there that will be a deal breaker for you. I wish you all the best, Uwen. Thank you for sharing your story with us. Guys, what do you think about this story? Let us meet and discuss this in the comment section. So next time when I come your way again, my name remains Bussy Daily David. Bye.